Welcome to the PT Legends podcast, where co-host Dave Bess and myself, Scott Carpenter, share our journey and secrets of success. From our humble beginnings as personal training employees of a big box gym to struggling studio owners that have made every mistake in the book, to where we are now, the owners of a multi-seven-figure business operating multiple personal training studios internationally, and now coach and mentor to fitness professionals in 5 countries and counting. This is our story, and these are our secrets. Subscribe to our podcast, learn, take action, and build your own fitness empire. Welcome everybody to the PT Legends podcast. I am Scott.
Big Dave, clocking back in. And today's a special one because we have a special guest on. This is Andrew Frezza. He is the co-owner of FitTown Jupiter. And you may also know him as the podcast host of the 7-Figure Box podcast, which is now Coach Care Lead podcast. And Andrew has been in the business for quite a long time. He's very successful at it. And he's also got a Rockstar coaching course now where he helps develop amazing, excellent coaches. So today we're going to have him on and talk a little bit about what it takes to be a better coach. So Andrew, thank you so much for coming on as a guest.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Glad to be on this side of it this time around.
Yeah. And it's funny because we never really got into a whole ton of your backstory because we met as you found us through PT Legends and listened to our podcasts. And then we connected really well. And then it's funny, as we were just about to roll on this podcast, you started telling us about your backstory. I'm like, whoa, save it for the podcast. So what led you to be very, very passionate about hiring and coaching and developing and leading and producing excellent coaches in this industry?
Yeah. So about a decade ago, my brother and I opened up CrossFit Palm Beach in Jupiter, Florida. And like a lot of affiliate owners, CrossFit affiliate owners, we kind of went into it just feet first, like fire, ready, aim, right? You just go and take action. And that was me and my brother coaching the majority of my other classes. And Tony didn't have as much experience, my brother. So I was doing the majority of it and he would kind of assist. And then as the gym started to do well and grow, we had to hire new coaches. And I remember, number one, when I was doing a lot of the coaching, I never really knew what made a great coach or not. I played baseball growing up, and I remember thinking about well, what did I like about this coach? And what did I like about that coach? And, and then you see the successful coaches at the highest level in sports. You look at a Bill Belichick, you look at a Phil Jackson, and they all have different styles to them. So is the coach the one who wins the most? Is the great coach the one who's the strictest, who's the biggest hard ass? And I didn't really have a good North Star for what made a great coach in the fitness industry. I just tried my best every single time I was out there, but that didn't really become truly obvious to me until I went to hire other coaches. So once the need was there to hire other coaches, it was like, oh my God, I really have no framework or idea of what makes a great coach at all. I have no system for developing this person. I have no real education for them. It was literally just tag along, shadow with me, and pick up the things that I do well and avoid the things that I don't do well. And it's up to you to decide which of those things are good and which of those things are bad. And hopefully you'll just develop into someone that's an asset to this business. And, over time, I started to do a lot of certifications. I would send our coaches to certifications. And I saw this dichotomy starting to take place. You had these certifications that were so technical based. Go to a CrossFit level 1, a CrossFit level 2 or level 3. You go do a kettlebell certification, weightlifting, mobility, gymnastics. I mean, I did it all over the course of my first 4 or 5 years coaching. And then on the flip side, I was also really invested in personal development. So I would do a bunch of Tony Robbins seminars. I did a 12-week course with Dale Carnegie, not actual Dale Carnegie, who's no longer alive, but his teachings and learning the principles of how to win friends and influence people and public speaking and all these things, and reading and listening to podcasts about the growth mindset. And what happened is it became very clear to me that The technical side was nice. It was nice knowledge to have. But what really made me a better coach was all of these soft skills, relationship building skills, the ability to connect and communicate with the other person. Mm-hmm. And that, through the experience I was gaining and all this education, really started to allow me to see some pretty clear frameworks of what goes into a great coach, what goes into a great class experience or one-on-one setting. And I didn't see anything out there like it. Again, anything that was being sold in the fitness industry was so about the technical coaching and not enough about these soft skills. So I really set out to create a course and a immersive experience that would help coaches see the bigger picture, have a North Star, and help them develop the skills to be well-rounded as a coach.
That's fantastic. And it's needed everywhere. I'm sure, like, as you're talking about the struggles that you had when you first started hiring, every single owner has gone through that. And the funny thing is, it's not even just, single box owners and single gym owners and whatever your model is. But when I was at Lifetime Fitness for 4 years and I ran the department, so I had 25-ish trainers on staff, there wasn't a system for that. It was, like you said, it was all based on technical stuff, right? And your pay grade, you could be eligible to step up pay grades depending on which extra certifications you had. And they were all really technical things. And the most successful people, they weren't resting on those laurels. They had these other aspects, these intangibles of coaching, right? These soft skills that you just don't learn anywhere. And I think Dave and I, that's where we really progress too, is because we're really big on personal development, right? And a lot of read a lot of Tony Robbins and James Clear and this and this and this on growth mindset and establishing the habits that you need. And that has really helped us. And so it's awesome to see that you're putting that together in a format to train. And is it you kind of help train these coaches in those areas?
Yeah. So we started with our staff and we have a process for onboarding our new coaches. And actually we've hired 6 of our last coaches from out of state. So we're taking them through this process to get them ingrained in our culture, how we do things. And then we've worked with gym owners and their entire teams, as well as individual coaches who are part of a gym that want to develop these skill sets. I have a question for you guys. So you guys have experienced it. How much do you believe these soft skills can be developed versus do you feel that they're innate?
Ooh, that's a great question. Great question. And it's funny because Dave and I were actually reflecting on some of the, we actually, like one of our recent podcasts that is processing now, we talked about like a lot of our screw ups because we found somebody that's good on paper, right? That's got the technical skills and they maybe are good in interview. They say the right things and this and that, but, and they should be good hypothetically. They maybe can make a good connection with their client, but they aren't happy people. They don't have their shit together. And no matter how great they look on paper, if that is not the case, it'll be a disaster because like your question is, you can't teach certain things. You cannot teach certain things. I would rather any day of the week, I would rather have someone who is less experienced, who has less technical knowledge, but they have a thirst for wanting to learn, get better, for helping people. And in general, they're a positive, happy person, right? Heading in the right direction. Those things you cannot teach and develop. We've seen it again and again. But there are some things where you can lead people who want more for themselves and for others. You can lead and teach them a lot of those things, a lot of those soft skills that you're talking about.
Yeah, I think it comes down to if I meet them and they genuinely want to help people, then you can teach them any type of soft skill. But if they don't have that, hey, I want to work with you because I want to help people, then it does not matter what you try to teach them soft skill wise. It's just going to go in one ear and out the other.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I think that's a big part of it. And, people often say hire for personality and train for skill. And I think that's a big aspect of personality. Tangible is someone that has a strong desire to help people. We also use a couple just like general tests, which is we always, like I said, we've hired 6 coaches from out of state, and we always have them come and stay with us like a recruiting trip for a few days or even a week. And we use a couple tests. One is like the car ride test. Would you be excited to spend 6 hours in a car with this person and look forward to that like dead time of being with this person?
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah, that one's a really good one.
Reminds me of like the Mario test from the Bronx Tale.
What's that one?
It's for a potential like girlfriend or something like that. Like if the car's like she leans over to unlock your door. This is back when they didn't have remote starters. Then she's a keeper. So it's your version of the Mario test. I love it.
Yeah, I like that. And then the other framework is like, if you're not excited or think there's a potential that you would work with this person for the rest of your life, don't work with them for a day. And I think with what we're doing at our gym, for sure, what you guys are doing with wanting to have a really deep impact, the quality of the person you have to bring onto your team has to hold up to that standard. If we were at McDonald's and we're just hiring for someone to really do an hourly job, can you hold that standard? Probably not. But I think at a lot of our gyms and what we're trying to create, the cultures, we can hold that standard.
That's a really good one. You're gonna have to email me these when we finish up.
But as it relates to like training some of these soft skills, one of the things that I hear a lot from gym owners is, yeah, but I can't teach people to care. I can't teach my coaches to care. And I agree with that statement. But what I'll tell people is that look at your relationships. Like Valentine's Day was yesterday. You may love your wife. You may say you love your wife, but do you do the things on Valentine's Day and other days to show your wife that you love her? Right? You may care about your clients. You may care about your job, but do you do the actions and habits of a person that cares about their job? Right? Or another way to look at this is like, we have transformation clients for PT Legends or potential clients. That person has 50 pounds to lose. Well, at some point in their life, they gain those 50 pounds. Is it because they don't want to be healthy? Is it because they don't care about being healthy? Not necessarily. They just might not have the mindset, the habits, and the actions aligned. They might not really know what that looks like to be a person that doesn't carry those 50 pounds. So the same is true with coaching. We have a lot of coaches that care. We have a lot of coaches that want to make a career in the fitness industry, but they don't necessarily know what the actions, habits, and mindsets are of a coach that can make a career in the fitness industry. And that's what we're trying to define. So some of that may look like soft skills where we're trying to teach people to care. But what we're really trying to do is take a person who has the seed of caring already there and get them to show it and do it on a daily basis.
Makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. And you're right. Like there are a lot of people that they don't know how to do it. Right. They just don't, they want to make an impact. They want to care, but they just don't know how to be effective at it.
Yeah. So what does your program look like? I'm interested now. I'm probably going to hire you after this. So okay. So let's say that you meet Tom, he comes down, you guys hang out, he passes your 2 tests. We're moving forward. So what does your program look like? I think you said it's based around five elements,
so
right?
We have the 5 levels of the Rockstar coach, and I can run through those. But basically, the same way we would onboard a new coach at our facility is a very similar process to what we do for other coaches and other gym owners and their staffs. And the latest iteration of that is a 12-week immersive course where it's online. Everybody has their individual access to this course. 30 to 45 minutes of weekly video content. There's quizzes and there's exercises. And then we get on a group call every single week. So I have another cohort of that starting here in about a month towards the end of March for that. So when we hire a new coach, we just hired one recently. Within the first week or 2, we're giving them the login to this course. They're going through it on a weekly basis. And then we meet with that person every single week to be able to check in with them, add to the content, have these conversations. and make sure that everything is being grasped by that person. And the foundational framework that course is built on is what we call and define as the 5 levels or roles of a Rockstar coach. And we created this pyramid. We won't be able to show it because this is mostly audio. But basically, the pyramid has a foundation, and then each level above that builds off of it. So the foundation for us is what we call the cheerleader role. And anybody who's been a fitness coach or trainer might cringe a little bit hearing the word cheerleader, because no one wants to be just the cheerleader, or in Dave's words, just the rep counter. We don't want to be known as that person. We want to be able to give real value. But for us, a cheerleader, whether they're in a group class setting, a one-on-one setting, doing remote coaching, the cheerleader is the person that values the one-on-one relationship and knows that that's the priority. It's the person that builds that one-on-one trust and connection and makes you feel cared for. Okay. Mm-hmm. That's the building block of any technical coaching or any fitness coaching that's going to take place. The second level up is what we call the director. And this is the second level for us because we're mainly coming from a group mindset, and the logistics aspect of that is so important, right? So this is the person who creates a lesson plan. They know minute by minute what's going to happen in that 60-minute class. They stage the gym, whether it be for a group setting or a one-on-one setting. Everything is set up in advance for that person. You're not scrambling on the spot to move a rower over or bring a dumbbell over. It's all set up. It looks like that person like made it for you. It's perfect. They manage the clock and the music and all these logistic elements. So everything just flows smoothly, whether you have just a small group or you have 30 or 40 people in a class, everything is catered to that, and it flows very smoothly. And they're the person that's a great public speaker. They can present to a large group as well. And then the third level up is a technician. So this is the person that gets people to move safely. They get them to move better. They use visual, verbal, and tactile cueing to get the person to improve their technique, which is what we traditionally think of when we think of coaching in most cases. And then the fourth level up is the programmer. So this is the person that can communicate and plan the bigger why. It could be a training block. It could be a goal. In terms of PT Legends, it is, hey, this person's coming to me to lose 10 pounds. They're coming to me to see these changes in their life. How do we know the end result and build backwards towards that result? And then finally, that top level is the coach. And this is the person that is able to help that client break through obstacles, build confidence. This is the person that leads by example. And usually this person is a great salesman as well, because they walk the walk and they know how to help those clients get to where they are and help them break through those barriers and obstacles. So the first thing I like to point out on this is that the two base levels, the two most foundational levels of what makes a rockstar coach really have nothing to do with what most people think of with traditional coaching. If most people were to define the traditional coach, they'd pick out those middle upper two levels, the technician and the programmer. Okay, it's the person that builds out the workout, and it's the person that executes the actual workout, the sets and reps. But for us, you earn the right to do that. You earn the right to be able to execute that with the person. And you earn that through the base two levels, through creating a strong one-on-one connection, and then showing that you're prepared and executing a well-flowing, smooth experience where you might, like, let's say I have a class of 20 people and I have someone show up for the first time. If that person shows up and I remember their name, I check in with them to see how they're feeling. I make sure that an exercise isn't causing them pain or bothering them. I introduce them to another person in the group so they feel welcomed by their group. The classes run well. The clock is working. They know where to go. They know what's being asked of them. The music is good. It feels good. Even if I never tell them, hey, squat lower, or drive your knees out on your squat, or keep your chest up. Even if I never get around to a technical cue with that person's going to come away from that experience and go, that felt good. Like, I don't know why it felt good. It just felt good. And that earns me months or years to create a change with that person because of those two foundational levels. And I earn the right to technically coach them down the road by doing those base levels really well.
Yeah, this is very thorough, and I like it because if you're a gym owner listening to this, you might think, oh yeah, that's some common sense. But here's the thing, that's because it's us. We're the gym owners. We care more than anybody. We're innately going, most of us are going to be doing all these things already. But it falls, you guys know it falls apart when you hire your coaches to do this for you. Because they don't think how you think. They don't know everything you know. They don't know why it's so important to have this thing laid out and prepared when they come in. Like all these little components that you probably do, you probably have a lot of frustration because not all your employees do this. And this is great because sometimes it's hard because like, okay, I'll try and teach this to my people, but you've been doing it for a while and you can't always think about all. You don't always know everything that you do that makes it successful, right? And it's because you care more. But at the end of the day, I love how you broken out all these steps, and you can actually teach everybody's staff how to do this.
Yeah, you're spot on. Most of the gym owners that I work with are gym owners that resonate with the content, agree with the content. Mm-hmm. It's not necessarily earth-shattering for them, but they go, I've never had a system to get my coaches to follow through with this.
And hiring and developing is something that we typically don't enjoy because there's a risk involved. Like it's time consuming. We tend to, maybe do a little bit of shadowing, a little base overview on stuff. We might mention something once, you know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, make sure you're setting up before they're ready. We don't spend the time that we need to developing our people, and we pay the price for it. And at the end of the day, it's a lot of hours, and it's a lot of all the work that you've done putting this in and trial and error on things. Nobody really does that. So I absolutely love it.
I got a hypothetical for you, Andrew. 20-year-old from Grand Canyon University. We take him out and we hand him right to you. What can you create in 12 weeks with him? So it's just a brand new coach, no bad habits, not a ton of technical skills. Where can we go in 12 weeks with your program?
Yeah. So this person I would want them to be getting experience in addition to just taking the course. Mm-hmm. If this person is getting reps in a group class setting, in a one-on-one setting, combining that with the course, that's where the magic is going to happen. But my goals for this person is that they master those two bottom roles, because the technician role and the programmer role is still going to take time, because they will need to do some of these other certs. They will need to, see program for clients and see the result of that. And we help to give them frameworks for that. But ultimately, my goal is that they master those two roles, which is connecting with individuals and preparation. And they look like a professional. So this person that is kind of probably showing up in what they would wear to the gym to go coach at the gym, is now showing up looking like a professional. This person is remembering every single name and personal details about every single client that they work with. This person is on the floor 10 minutes before and after every training session. This person is planning each minute of every session that they work with, and then checking in with themselves after those sessions to see how well they executed on that. And they now have a filter for taking every single technical piece of knowledge that they take in the future and running it through this filter. Because what I've seen with coaches is that it's so easy for them to have this black and white mindset where they learn something from an OPEX certification. I don't know if you guys are familiar with them. They're out in Arizona. Or they learn something from a weightlifting certification. And now you see this coach, instead of running it through this filter that they have, everything is now run through the weightlifting filter. And everything about what they learned before is now somehow wrong because of what they learned in weightlifting or in OPEX or whatever. And this is going to keep this person grounded in really what makes a great experience for people. And then now they can take bits and pieces of what they're learning and filter it into that. And you get a coach that no matter what happens, they always connect with individuals and they always prepare and plan for every session. And then once you do that, you can have your own style. You can have your own way that you like to program, but there's going to be a foundation there that will make you a great asset to any team.
I like it. And I know we were talking before, because like in PT Legends, we talk about how the workouts, while they're a necessary component, they're the least important in many ways. Like with transformations, whether it's done in a one-on-one format or a semi-private versus a group versus your more CrossFit style versus your more boot camp style versus your more traditional bodybuilding, a lot of those different things can work for a lot of different people. What's more important is the coaching, right? And I like it because one thing that you said is like, it's not that the workouts aren't important. It's just that the other things are more important, right? Because again, if you miss like all those levels that you talked about, being, you know, the cheerleader and the director and all those kind of things, and you are just an amazingly knowledgeable and deliver the best technical workout ever, you'll never get a chance to work with them again past what they originally signed up with. And I saw that at Lifetime a lot. Some of the biggest brainiacs, the biggest fitness nerds, they knew everything. They could not translate a damn thing to their clients. And they were very, very, very ineffective as personal trainers. I saw that a lot.
Yeah. Unless you're working at the highest levels of sport where you're just like, you're just making, you know, Olympic level athletes or the best NFL players and MLB players in the world. I mean, I would argue that even then you still benefit from this same approach.
Sure.
But unless you're at that level, you need to meet people where they're at, you know, emotionally and physically. And you need to have that empathy for those other people. And that's the only way you create longevity in coaching.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's where we really saw eye to eye right away on this kind of stuff. And we kind of came to the same conclusions in different ways, right? Which is really cool. And I love the system that you've built out with this. And so you said it's about 12 weeks, correct? That you take people through?
Yeah, 12 weeks. And basically we spend the first 2 weeks, we really get coaches clear on why they're doing it. I'm a big believer in the fitness coach as a career. And one of the first lessons in the course, we talk about the doctor versus the coach. And I think that the coach has as much of an ability as a doctor, and in my opinion, a lot more, to dramatically change people's lives. And there's misconceptions out there because we don't go through 8 years of schooling. We don't have to pass all these exams. We don't have to take on all these student loans to, we could do a weekend fitness certification and we could be coaching the next Monday. And there's a lot of pros and cons to that. But I think what the biggest con of that is allows people to take for granted the role that we have as coaches to change lives. And I really firmly believe, and my mission is to help coaches out there that believe coaching can be a career for them. And more specifically, coaches out there that feel that coaching is their calling to be able to do this. And so the first 2 lessons of the Rockstar coaching course, we have them really look internally to find that intrinsic motivation, decide whether they want to commit to this. And then once they do that, we spend 2 weeks on each of the roles, 2 weeks on the cheerleader, 2 weeks on the director, and so on. And we kind of wrap things up in that final week. But yeah, we really try to set the mindset first. And if that person decides that they're a hobby coach or they're just doing this as a job, as a stepping stone, nothing wrong with that. Chances are they're not going to like the course though. And they probably won't finish it. So we're really looking for people that want to make this career or feel that this is their calling, their life's work.
That's fantastic. And one last question for you. What's your favorite book to recommend to a coach that will help them be more successful or be more introspective, whatever. What's one book that you love to suggest that really helps them learn something or perform better?
There's so many. I mean, I find myself recommending books to different people on our coaches on our own team. Rarely am I recommending the same book to everyone.
Yeah.
But there's a few that come to mind. I'll just run through real quick, maybe like a top 5 here. One that I hear shared the most, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie, is really good. But I think for what our course has translated all that stuff way better for the fitness professional. So that's if someone's gone through our course, I never recommend that book because it's just redundant. Atomic Habits is amazing. Such a great book for behavior change and understanding what goes into that. One of my favorite books that I don't hear recommended a lot is called The Compound Effect. And the compound effect is about compound growth and compound results. One of the examples they give in that book is the example of, would you rather take $1 million, just I'll hand you $1 million, or would you rather take a penny every day for 30 days that doubles every day for 30 days? And they break out the math, and you would want to take the penny that doubles every day. But what's so interesting about that example is you get like 20 days in to that penny example, and I'm probably going to butcher the example, but it's like you have $100 20 days in, and you're like, right, I'm 2/3 of the way through this process, and I only have $100, and like I should have taken that $1 million. That would have changed my life, and I only got this freaking $100. But what happens in the last 10 days of this in compounding is just night and day. And I know you guys have seen that result with what's happened with you in PT Legends. And I know most people have seen that result, where that moment before you're about to quit, or that moment before your clients are about to quit, is really the moment before this exponential growth is really going to take place. So that book is so valuable for helping.
And just a real life example of that. It's like, this is how people are overnight successes that have been working at something for 10 years before they became overnight successes.
Exactly.
It's like that hockey stick like growth.
Exactly. So that book is just, I just fall back on that principle so often. And then 2 others that are probably more specific to coaching, The Talent Code and The Art of Learning. Both of those are really, really good books of just about how to develop skills and how to think about like progressions and learning and acquiring skills.
And that's fantastic. So that's a meta skill, learning how to learn more effectively and efficiently and connect those dots. These are all meta skills that help you with every other skill in life. So those are important ones to learn about and polish. Andrew, thank you so much for coming on. How can people find you? What's the best way?
Yeah. So, I mean, I love having just direct contact with people. So if anybody wants to learn more about what we do, feel free to shoot me an email, andrew@fittown.com. You can check out our gym, fittownjupiter.com, or head over to carecoachlead.com, but it's actually care-coach-lead.com. And then if you're interested in the Rockstar coaching program, and if you're a coach, ideally someone that's in their first few years of coaching who wants to really expedite their path to a career or living their calling, or you're a gym owner that has these coaches on your team, or you want to have a process for being able to hire and onboard in the future, then that's really our ideal person. You can go to care-coach-lead.com/rockstar, and you'll be able to see the course. You could book a call with me if you're not sure if you want to commit to it, or you could just sign up right there and join the next cohort of it.
Awesome. Perfect. Thank you so much, Andrew.
Thanks, brother.
Thank you guys. Appreciate the time and having me on.
You got it. Thanks a lot, everybody, for tuning in. We'll see you next week on the PT Legends podcast.
Dave and myself, Scott, would love to thank you for tuning in and listening to the PT Legends podcast. You can get direct access to us by joining our free Facebook group. Go to www.facebook.com/groups/7-figure personal trainer. That's seven-figure personal trainer with the number 7. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast so you can keep on learning and keep on living. Finally, if you picked up any tips whatsoever in this episode that you found helpful, be sure to leave us a review and tell us what you like best about it. Can't wait to see you on the next episode.